Unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, I'm sure you've heard about the attack at a professional wrestling show between Psycho Stu and Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson. Now, there have been countless videos covering this topic. I'm not going to go too in depth to what actually happened. It was probably one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen on YouTube. What I want to focus on in this video is who I believe to be the real villain in this situation, and that's AJ Mana.
The gimmick. This is Andre talking.
Now, AJ Mana is a wrestler, and in the video, you can see him telling Raja to get his receipt.
You run out on his shit, you give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that receipt, bro. Tag this shit. If you got a problem with it, I'll run out there.
Which is pretty much retaliating against Psycho Stu for smashing the beer can over his head. Obviously, he felt like he was disrespected by getting the can smashed over his head. And I think a lot of this has to do with him being pressured into what he did. He obviously doesn't have a lot of impulse control. And there's a lot of talk around how Rampage is towards his son.
Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
There's videos of him online picking on him too much. And I think Raja felt like he had something to prove. Now, obviously, Raja is fully to blame for his actions. He's a full-grown man. He's 25 years old. He should not have done what he did, and I don't condone any of his actions. AJ Mana was recently interviewed on the CT Fletcher podcast. The way he reacts and the way he talks about this event, it's very telling of the type of person he is. It almost looked like he was cutting a promo discussing this, and you could see the rage in him while he's talking.
Opinions are a lot like acid. Everybody's got one and they all stink. So my standpoint is I'm not dealing with anything with regard to speculation, rumor, hearsay, anything of that nature. I will deal only with my personal experience. In a video that was over an hour long, in that entire video, you will only see my ass 8 minutes. I had the least amount of involvement in this shit. However, I'm taking the most of the heat for it.
In that 8 minutes, you encouraged Raja Jackson, who is not a professional wrestler, to go and get his receipt on Psycho Stu. And from what I understand, he actually knows Raja Jackson very well. So he probably already knows his family history, he knows his temperament, and he still proceeded to encourage him while all of these thousands of streamers were encouraging him to attack Psycho Stu.
I won't get too deep into family ties and shit like that, but it's very obvious. It's easy to go ahead, throw me under the bus. I'm a very humble, kind, and respectful man.
I'm sorry, but this guy does not seem humble at all.
One thing I am not gonna ever do is double cross another man. One thing I will never do is set up another man. What you don't know about AJ Mana, what you don't know about Andre, the gimmick. The gimmick. This is Andre talking. I'm from Compton. I left Compton when I was 12.
Is he cutting a promo for wrestling right now? And what does being from Compton have to do with what happened at the event?
I was adopted into a Samoan family. You know why? I don't know my father. I hardly even knew my mother. AJ Mana, that's a moniker. That's a gimmick.
Okay, so he's trying to get some kind of sympathy from everybody because he didn't know his father or his mother. Still not sure what this has to do with what happened at the event.
My life is ruined because of your speculation. My life is ruined, and you know who you are.
It's not speculation. This was all recorded on live stream.
Because you decided to throw me under the bus to protect your own image, to protect what you perceive to be your own good name, when your name really ain't shit to nobody no more. Because the facts are out there.
I think who he's talking about here is Douglas Mallow, who actually pointed out that AJ Mana was to blame for a lot of this event, and he wasn't very happy with him as a person. Apparently, he's not very good backstage, and you can clearly see that within the 2 minutes of this interview I've already played.
And I'm not afraid of you motherfuckers anymore. I've been afraid of you for 6 years. I'm not fucking afraid of you anymore. You know who I'm talking to. Like I said, this is Andre talking. So let me start.
Somebody sounds really angry, and this is not a good look if there's going to be some legal proceedings following this attack. This is not a good look on AJ Mana. It does not make his character look very good. It makes him look like a bit of a loose cannon.
From the very first 5 seconds of that video, Raja, who is a teammate of mine, who is the son of Quentin Rampage Jackson, the man, not a character, not what was worked into a storyline. He was a guest. I didn't bring him to the show.
So he says he didn't bring him to the event, but he's going to talk about how he got him a ticket, which kind of makes him look like he brought him to the event.
Fact. I was unaware that by carrying out what I was told to do, I would then be scapegoated to protect them. Unbeknownst to whoever was working security, again, and I'm not gonna do names. That's what I'm not gonna do. The way I come up, you don't name drop. You just spit facts. Homeboy didn't know that I had spotted a VIP ticket for Raja.
So he got a VIP ticket for Raja, but he didn't invite him to the event? I don't know, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
There's always been discrepancies when it comes to this ticket sale shit. I've always had a good amount of people support me. For some reason, the numbers just never seem to add up. Gee, I wonder why.
I'm not really sure what this has to do with the actual attack and how this absolves him of responsibility. He's talking about ticket sales. He kind of seems like a narcissist that's really fixated on how he's affected by things.
My pockets were always empty, and his y'alls were really filled. Do I really need to get into that? Nah, we're dealing with facts, right? Okay, so for some reason or another, his name went on the list. So guess what? I forked up another $30 to get his name on the VIP list.
Aw, you shouldn't have. You're such a kind man.
The day prior, there was a meeting with myself, Raja, and his pops about beginning a collaboration as they are doing this live stream shit.
Okay.
What was that?
It was kick live stream. Kick.
Right?
So he didn't bring him to the event, but him, Rampage Jackson, and Raja got together about collaborating at the event on stream. None of what he's saying makes any sense, and he's clearly lying and contradicting himself in this interview already.
Well, it turns out they had millions of followers. This shit was pop. Rampage said to me, you know what? I see you've been working hard to get your name out there, but something just ain't clicking. Like, people know who you are, but bro, like, if you get on this stream shit with us, like, people gonna talk shit. And they did. People gonna talk shit, and, you know, they gonna rage bait you and all that. But just, you know, just be cool about it, and, you know, people, your following will go up. And it did.
He's basically admitting to the fact that they coordinated this together and that he got Raja a VIP ticket.
If y'all out here trying to say this whole thing was a work, this whole thing from the jump was a part of a storyline that went wrong, that's bullshit. And for those that this may upset, I'm dealing in facts, right? I'm not going to perpetuate the bullshit that you want me to put out there.
Yeah, the facts are you invited him to come as a VIP member, and then you encouraged him to get his receipt. And then the event that preceded went way too far because Raja is not a wrestler. Raja doesn't understand what's going on. You probably also know that Raja wouldn't take too kindly to getting a beer can smashed over his head. And then you proceeded to tell him to go get his revenge on Psycho Stu.
Well, I can't say put out there because most of you told me to shut the fuck up and not say anything and let it die out. No, you didn't want this to die out. You wanted me to die. That's what you wanted. That's why you wanted me to say nothing.
The only thing people care about is the fact that you encouraged Raja Jackson to attack Psycho Stu, and now he's in the hospital fighting for his life.
Thank God for people like CT that saw through the bull. There was no storyline because Raja wasn't there to be a part of a show. Raja was a guest. Raja was my VIP.
He keeps talking about the storyline. It doesn't matter if there was a storyline. In real life, a man was sent to the hospital because your friend punched him over 20 times while he was unconscious because he slammed him on the wrestling canvas. And anybody that knows anything about wrestling, those canvases are not soft. I've taken many bumps in wrestling. A bump is when you fall on the canvas and do a break fall. It is not forgiving, and getting slammed on that canvas is almost like getting slammed on hardwood floor.
On my way to introducing him to the owner, I had bypassed several wrestlers, several people, several others that were not talent in that locker room. We're talking about outside the venue, a locker room setup outside, okay? For those that wanted to pander to this idea of this 1980s mentality of Kayfabe. Kayfabe is dead, bitches. I don't know if you're aware.
I'm pretty sure they still try to uphold Kayfabe as much as they can. For those who don't know, Kayfabe is just the character they play. Back in the day when we didn't have the internet and people didn't know what was going on in the inner workings of wrestling, people used to act like their character at all times.
The curtain was pulled back long ago. So stop trying to use that Kayfabe bull. And then if you want to talk about Kayfabing the boys in the locker room and all that, well, don't have your wife in there. Don't have your mama in there. Don't have your girlfriend in there. But let me bring somebody in that's there for business, that don't really look like everybody else that was in there. Oh, we got a problem. Yeah, that part.
I'm not really sure what this has to do with anything. He's starting to play the race card, and this just makes everybody more angry, and it gets people more divided and gets people fighting more. This has nothing to do with what actually happened. He's not even explaining anything. He's actually discrediting himself because he's basically saying that he invited Raja there as a VIP and he was there for business. This does not make him look credible whatsoever.
So I want to ask plainly and clearly, in particular about the wrestler that said that he thought that Raja was talent or worker.
I made it very clear who Raja was from the jump. In fact, I introduced Raja before he even walked up into that general vicinity.
This actually proves nothing. Even if Psycho Stu knew who Raja was and he hit the beer can over his head, then he proceeds to slam him on the canvas and punch him 20 times while he's unconscious. And the only reason why he stopped is because Douglas Mallow pulled him off. That doesn't absolve him of what he actually did in this event.
He is there on business or for business, not to do business in the show, to promote the show, to promote me, to promote himself. It was a cross-collaborative agreement.
So it's a cross-collaborative agreement, but you didn't invite him to the show? Over and over again, this guy is contradicting himself. This makes him look like an actual villain that orchestrated this whole entire event and that actually orchestrated the attack.
Which leads into the next detail. Who are you? What are you doing here? Type shit. I'm not going to expound too much on that because it's very sensitive right now, considering the fact that one of my brothers is currently in the hospital. Yeah, I said it, my brother. He's got the same tattoo on his forearm because he's a cowboy from the 66 Reds, just like myself.
I'm not really sure what the 66 Reds are, but that sounds like a gang. I really hope for his sake, he deletes this interview right off of YouTube.
Y'all want to suggest that somehow I would set up my own brother? Y'all want to push this narrative that me, not the gimmick, the human being.
Yes, that's a good question. So they made it into a work after the altercation?
After the altercation, yes, sir. After the fact.
Dude, this whole interview sounds like a gimmick. It sounds like you're cutting a promo for a professional wrestling show when you're literally talking about someone getting beaten within inches of their life. Sometimes in life, you gotta take things seriously. This isn't a wrestling promo, dude.
After the fact. Now let me get to that. Y'all saw the video. I don't even know why there's like questions about this. It is so cut and dry. It's so obvious. But y'all let these celebrities get on here that you've been marking out for years and just gaslight the fuck out of you.
There's no gaslighting. This is all recorded on stream. Everybody can see what you did. Everybody can see what Raja did. Everybody can see what Psycho Stu did. And everybody can formulate their opinions based on actual recorded evidence.
The proof is in the pudding. Yes, he went too far. We don't have to ascertain whether or not he went too far.
I think that's the only thing that this guy has said that has any validity. All of the other stuff that he's talking about in this video has zero validity. Whether or not there was kayfabe, whether or not Raja knew who Psycho Stu was, none of that's relevant. He obviously used an excessive force in comparison to getting hit with a prop beer can. And all of these people on stream were encouraging him to attack this guy, as well as his friend AJ Mana, who's an actual professional wrestler. And he appears to be an older person as well. He looks like he's in his 30s. He should be guiding Raja in a more positive direction. He's not aware of the inner workings of wrestling, and he had no business being in the ring at a wrestling event. I know when I was training, you needed a lot of experience before you could get into the ring because you can really hurt somebody if you don't know what you're doing.
Like I said, I'm gonna take you through every fucking experience I had. I'm trying to absolve myself right now of these false allegations that I somehow, what was the term? I prompted
or somehow was
attempted, attempted murder, an accessory to attempted murder.
Looking at this AJ Mana interview, it's clear that he's only fixated on how things affect him. And that, in my opinion, is a very narcissistic trait. And he seems like a very self-centered, angry person. That's all I got for this video. If you want to talk about this further, leave me a message in the comments. If you want to like and subscribe to this video, it helps me reach more people and it helps me with the algorithm. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening. Stay skeptical. See you in the next video. I'm out.